Hey everybody, this is Fragger here from Shima Hunter here with another episode of Retroactive, where I'm here to talk about a very interesting game called Alien Soldier. A lot of you might be staring at your screens going, what the fuck is Alien Soldier? You're not one of the only ones. Alien Soldier is a game that didn't come out in the US. It only came out in Japan and Europe, so this is effectively a Mega Drive game, not a Genesis game. Kind of interesting, that really didn't happen a lot back then. There'd be some games that stick around in Japan, but once things made localization over in Europe, they tend to jump the pond because they're just like, let's just make it NTSC compatible and bam, we're gonna make more money. It's not like it wasn't made by a big company, it was made by Treasure. They made Gunstar Heroes. They were kind of big. And it just didn't make it over here, and you can kind of tell by look, it looks like Gunstar Heroes. It's kind of awesome, except for the fact that fundamentally speaking, it's the opposite of Gunstar Heroes. This game is all about the boss fights. It is a game almost entirely of boss fights. You'll be fighting in stages, but the stages at the most are like 30 seconds long. All these stages are really here to do is either use up your ammo or eat up your health and maybe give you some health if you're lucky. That's all that they're really there for. So you kind of have to learn how to manage these things correctly, or else you're going to be taking some unnecessary hits when you get to the actual goal of the level, which is to beat the boss. This is a game with 31 boss fights. It actually held the record for the most boss fights in a single run-and-gun shooter. That's pretty neat. Now, why am I talking about this game? I mean, there's plenty of games out there that's at least something kind of like this, although the whole main focus on boss fights is fairly unique. Why am I talking about this game? There's tons of other run-and-gun shooters out there that you could sit down and play and have a great time with. Well, the big thing about this game is the fact that it's a very difficult game, but it's fair at it. And it's also the type of fair that I really enjoy. There's a lot of us who know games that were called Nintendo Hard. Games like the Mega Man games, Ghosts and Goblins, etc., etc. Those are difficult games. The learning curve of these games are usually kind of whacked in the fact that a lot of it is just learning the game for a fair amount and then you're good. I mean, there's a little bit of reactionary stuff attached to it. You learn how to fight this character or fight this boss, and once you lock him into a pattern, you're pretty much good. Or is just straight up bullshit. Like a good example of that would be like Wave Man in Mega Man 5. You learn his pattern, which is as soon as the water starts to come down, you jump, you can dodge his spear attack, and you can fire off a charged shot on him. And you repeat that till he's dead. It's super easy. That's exploiting a pattern. That's not learning. It's exploiting. This game will teach you how to fight a boss, and then you have to use that skill in a difficult situation on how to fight the boss. And the game gives you a ton of tools at your disposal to do that, kind of like the way Dark Souls does. Dark Souls gives you a bunch of abilities and a lot of tactics for you to fight these bosses, but you still have to use them in very difficult situations. That's where this game becomes really, really cool, in the fact that you have certain abilities like a screen dash where you're invulnerable, but the moment you come out of it, you're in danger. You have limited ammo for all 4 of your guns, but at the start of the game, you can pick the guns that you have, and there's ammo pickups which will change your guns for you and fill your ammo. So you have to use these tools correctly. And bosses will have certain weaknesses, they have tells. You have to learn where you stand. You also have to learn how to do your melee move, which is you double tap the fire button, and that also allows you to get health back. You also have an alternate fire mode where you can move and shoot, which sometimes is detrimental in boss fights. Another smart design choice is that this game will never one-shot you. What'll happen is that no matter what health you're at, if you take a hit that should kill you, it'll knock you down to 1 health, and then the next hit will kill you. And you've also got invincibility frames and whatnot, so it's a little more fair and allows you to come back from near death. See, this is strategy. This is really cool, and this is a boss rush game where all you're doing is learning bosses. Kind of get what I'm coming at from here now, why this game is really, 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 really cool. Usually I will go into more in depth on the story. You play as a genetically altered eagle who's killing monsters in space. That's just silly. I love that. But this is where I'm going to get into the interesting thing on this game is what I want done with it. Now, you can get this game right now on the Wii Virtual Console. I don't think it's on the Wii U yet, but I wouldn't know. That Wii U has got weird stuff going on. I would love to see this game come back, mainly because this would be a really fun game to sit down and learn and just have a great fun with. Like, I pick away at Dark Souls and I have a great time doing that. I can see myself doing with this game. You learn a boss, you get good at this boss, and the way that the game is set up with the difficulties at current is that easy, it's the same exact difficulty, but you can continue after each stage. Whereas hard, you get no continues. That's the only difference. So you can learn how to fight these bosses and learn how to fight them well, and then come at it and attack it on a harder difficulty. That is what learning a difficult game is all about, is doing that. I would love to see this game come back with an HD remake. Give us a boss fight practice mode like Mega Man 10 does. Throw that in this game. Release it in HD, give it widescreen, and you've got a great game. Because the biggest hindrance in this game is actually the weapon changing controls. Because you tap A, and then you move left and right, and then you either tap A again or fire, and it selects that gun. Having bumpers, where you can just go, oh, I want 1, 2, 3, bam, you have like your homing shot. That would make this game immensely better. So I hope you guys go out and give this game a try. See you guys next week.